So, I always say so. Today marks a big day and a big step for us in No Ordinary Path. We are really starting the remodel part today. Now it's painting. Well, it's mainly just painting. But it really will change the look of everything. So we're going to start that today. Start on our room first. I'm going to start by taking the cabinets off, the cabinet doors off, and going outside to sand them just lightly and start priming them. One of the things that we researched and we wanted to make sure that we did right was to sand the wood a little bit. All these RVs and the wood finishing have it's like a veneer on the finish. It's very light, but if you don't sand it down, the primer and the paint don't stick well to it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You see how the paint is kind of bubbling? It's not really bubbling, but it's just not adhering very well. That's what happens when you don't sand it.
All of the cabinets, taken the doors off, sanded the cabinets, and we have wiped them down with our diluted TSP. I bought the liquid because I figured in an RV it would be better than mixing up the powder stuff. This is happening to a lot of the trim pieces. They're just kind of coming off of the ceiling. Like the nails have kind of rattled out a little bit, so I'm gonna pop the nails back in and put some glue on there, see if I can't secure it. We glued, you saw that I glued those strips back up to the ceiling, but there was still that unsightly crack, and so we got some clear caulking, and John went ahead and caulked all along that. So now when it's painted over, it just looks like a seamless transition.
It's all getting caulked.
You do need tape. We thought we could do this without tape, and we were very wrong, as evident by our bedroom. After the bedroom, I went back to Home Depot and I was like, gotta have the tape. We don't use tape when we're doing like inside the house, when you're cutting walls and stuff. Like, we're just really careful and it's fine. But in the RV, there's so many like nooks and crannies and things. Retraction. I'm taking back what I said about the tape. It didn't peel off very nicely.
And maybe it would work if we took it off when everything was still wet, but the problem is it just peels the paint with it.
We've cracked open our primer. We got the Bare
Multi-surface primer.
Multi-surface primer. This came highly recommended.
We'll show you.
We are trying not to take all the things out of our cabinets as we do this. I assumed that it would be a snap, that it would, yes, it's a lot of cabinets and people said it took a long time, but for us, it'll be fine. It's not that bad. It's taking quite some time to paint. It is gonna take more paint than you'd think it's gonna take. I was like, oh, it's just cabinets, 1 gallon will be fine. No, that's not gonna be the case. We're gonna have to go back to Home Depot again to get more primer and probably more paint. One thing that I will say that I'm super glad that we did was come out here to the middle of nowhere, because the kids keep wanting to come in and we just have to constantly kick them out, and it's very nice to have some place to kick them out too. We're not bothering anybody else, and we're not worried about them because they're right outside of our front door here. It turns out it's becoming a little more costly than we thought it would be. Of course, that usually happens when you do home improvement projects, right? We didn't have any of the materials with us to get the project done. So we had to buy all new brushes and paint trays and just generic, general supplies, the sanders, the TSP, everything adds up. It's not very expensive, like each individual item is not very expensive, but once they start adding up, the caulking, and we didn't have a gun for the caulk, so we had to buy that also. And those are the kinds of things that we would normally have on hand in a sticks and bricks. It's taking a lot more water than we anticipated. So we love boondocking, and when you're boondocking, you're limited on your water resources anyways. And now, because we have the kids outside all day, every day, all the time, because we don't want them inside the house at all, they are filthy. So cleaning them is an issue. And then the paint supplies. I'm glad I bought cheap paint supplies because they are getting ruined because we just simply don't have enough water to constantly rinse them out.